And now for a Next News special report.
Breaking news now, the Democrat Party is on the brink of implosion as Chicago prepares for what could be the most chaotic convention since 1968. We've got exclusive intel on a political earthquake that's about to hit, Biden's potential exit, Trump's surge, and a looming party civil war. They've all set the stage for an unprecedented drama. But there's an even bigger bombshell waiting in the wings. Stay tuned. The next 48 hours could change the course of American history. Now, before we dive into the Democratic meltdown, let's talk about another crisis you can actually control. I'm talking about your energy bills. Well, the Democrats scramble to find a new leader. You can take charge of your home's energy use. This amazing little device is like having a steady hand at the helm. It keeps your energy consumption in check when everything else seems out of control. It cuts waste, extends appliance life, and keeps your bills low. Don't let uncertainty drain your wallet. Go to don'twastepower.com now for a 60-day risk-free trial, 65% off and free shipping. That's don'twastepower.com. Order now and secure your energy future. Now let's dive into the political firestorm that's about to engulf the Democrat Party. In just a month, the Democrat National Convention kicks off in Chicago, but it might not be the coronation they were expecting. Newsmax is reporting a bombshell that President Biden is stepping down as the Democrat nominee, possibly as soon as this weekend. Speeches have been written, but before we get to that, let's look at how we got here. Illinois Republican Representative Darren LaHood didn't mince words when he spoke to Fox News Digital about what we can expect in Chicago. Watch.
Well, I think it's going to be chaos and dysfunction. And let me just contrast that with Milwaukee. I've never seen a convention with more unity, more optimism, more energy in the first 2 days of this convention. And again, I think two monumental things have happened in the last 3 weeks. The debate performance by President Biden was abysmal and disastrous. And so it highlighted his lack of mental acuity. But it also showed that President Trump, where he stands on the issues and how strong he came out of that debate. Second that with the terrible events of last Saturday and what occurred. And we will never forget President Trump saying fight, 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 and his leadership and his courage. That's given everybody here at this convention a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm. And that is palpable here at this convention. And so we've had a really flawless convention, but the unity here, the togetherness is really apparent. And I think that will be in stark contrast to Chicago, because remember, this dump Biden movement, it builds every single day. And so there's going to continue to be that. Democrats know they can't win with Joe Biden on the ticket. Now that's a problem for them. We need to stay focused and disciplined on President Trump's message and J.D. Vance's message, and we have to execute between now and November 5th. They're in a free fall right now, and it is a disaster. They've never had to face this before, and they can't do much about it unless President Biden announces he's not going to run. But the narrative that has been created, and the media refused to acknowledge, and Democrats refused to acknowledge that Joe Biden is not up to being president, that came forth in that debate. And it's hard, you can't ring that bell, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. And so, again, what we have to do is focus on the future. Politics is about the future, elections are about the future. Donald Trump's vision is a strong one for this country. People remember what it was like under Donald Trump. So we'll let the Democrats implode, because I think that's where they're headed. But we need to focus on our job ahead of us as Republicans, as conservatives, focus on the issue. It'll be a great night on November 5th.
So you heard it straight from the source, folks. Chaos and dysfunction are on the menu in Chicago. LaHood contrasts this with the unity and optimism of the Republican convention in Milwaukee. He pointed out two game-changing events, Biden's debate debacle and the attack on Trump. These have energized Republicans and exposed the deep cracks in the Democrat Party. But it gets worse for the Democrats. CNN, of all places, dropped a bombshell that should have every Democrat shaking in their boots. Watch.
Look at the map right now. That gets Donald Trump to 303. And there's new polling today that shows the president's approval rating in these battleground states is below 40. The president's ballot number right now is below 40 in most of those states, and it's at 42 in Nevada. It's very hard in 16 weeks. We count the votes 16 weeks from tonight to turn that around. Plus, Democrats are now worried. They think, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but what they're saying is the president's going to have to spend more time and more resources on places like Virginia because it's competitive, on places like New Hampshire because it's competitive. You look at the this map as it plays out. And there are Democrats making the case, and we have Wisconsin blue here. Let's move Wisconsin over here. There are Democrats making the case that Donald Trump is on a viable path as of today to get to 330 electoral votes, Wolf, or even higher, because they see other states in here. The Trump campaign says Minnesota. The Trump campaign says maybe New Mexico. Let's be cautious. Those are blue states traditionally, but the president's standing, his approval rating, his ballot number, people's views about how old he is, and people who view the state of the economy are very bad for the president right now. And so even if you just go back to where we start, Donald Trump is in command. The numbers are getting worse for the president, Wolf, and Donald Trump has an opportunity with this convention to build it even more.
You saw those numbers. Trump's path to victory isn't just possible, it is becoming more likely by the day. Biden's approval ratings in battleground states are underwater, and the electoral map is shifting in Trump's favor. The Democrats are in full panic mode, scrambling to shore up support in states they once took for granted. If that wasn't enough to send the Democrats into a tailspin, check out this shocker from the Associated Press poll reported by Fox. Watch.
We have some new polling data from the Associated Press that reveals a staggering number of Americans want President Biden to drop out. 70% believe he should withdraw so that Democrats can pick someone else. That is stunning. But this is even more stunning. 65% of Democrats agree. Biden's been waiting for the numbers. Well, we have them. The nightmare poll comes as calls to ditch President Biden are back after quieting down in the wake of the assassination attempt against former President Trump.
Wow. Let that sink in. A whopping 70% of Americans want Biden to drop out. Even more stunning, 65% of Democrats agree. Well, it looks like they may just be getting their wish. Like I said, according to Newsmax, multiple Democrat sources are saying Biden has agreed to step down as a nominee. It's not just a rumor, folks. They're saying he could make the announcement as early as this weekend with a speech already drafted. But here's the kicker. Biden isn't planning to endorse his Vice President Kamala Harris as his successor. Instead, he's expected to call for an open convention in Chicago. We're talking about a potential free-for-all among Democratic hopefuls. Harris, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, you name it. This bombshell comes after intense pressure from party bigwigs like Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi. They've apparently convinced Biden that he's got no shot at beating Trump in November. And the parallels to 1968 are impossible to ignore. Back then, the Democrats tore themselves apart over Vietnam. Today, it's Biden's fitness for office and the party's ideological civil war between progressives and moderates. The only difference, social media is amplifying every crack and fissure for the world to see. As we head into the next convention, keep your eyes peeled for signs of this last-minute shakeup. Will Biden really step down? And if he does, can the Democrats avoid a total meltdown in Chicago? One thing's for sure, the next month is going to be a wild ride, and you can bet we will be here to bring you every twist and turn. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. My fellow Americans, Chicago is about to become ground zero for a Democrat disaster. With Biden stepping down, protesters flooding the streets, and crime spiraling out of control, we're looking at political Armageddon. This isn't just a convention. It is a potential implosion of a major political party. Just like in 1968, the Democrats are handing Republicans a gift-wrapped victory. As they scramble for a new leader in the Windy City, Trump's path to the White House gets ever clearer. Folks, we are witnessing history and the rebirth of our republic.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.